Jeff, thank you so much for your time. We talk about hunger. I know it's near and dear for you, the three H's. So tell me a little bit about the three H's.
Well, our society, we often talk a lot about breaking the cycle of poverty. And there's a lot of discussion about that today, not only across our state, but across the United States and around the world. There's a big focus on breaking the cycle of poverty. And I think really the answer is education. A lot of people talk about it's an education issue. Well, and I agree with that, but I also think that before we get to breaking the cycle of poverty, I think we need to take a step back as we're spending and focusing all of our resources on education. We really need to take a step back and look at the foundational issues that every human needs, and that is the three H's as you referred to: the housing, the hunger, and the health. Hunger is an issue all across our state. The state of Indiana today, we have 11 major food banks, 1,700 food pantries across our state. A lot of people are reaching out and meeting the needs of hunger in our community, but yet the needs are growing by double-digit numbers each and every day. Health issues, we have a lot of people that don't have access to basic medical care in our community, and housing. We have a lot of people that's in housing crisis. You know that I've been close to the Habitat for Humanity, the Millard Fuller legacy for many, many years, and now the Fuller Center for Housing. And then there's a lot of great organizations in addition to Habitat or the Fuller Center that are reaching out, meeting the need for housing. But there's a lot of people that's, you've got to have all three of those basics covered, or yet you're living in crisis. I mean, we have, today with the baby boomers, we have a lot of our senior citizens today that are living in crisis of the basic needs. They've worked all their life, they have a house that is completely paid for, and a lot of people think, well, how are they living in, having a housing crisis? Well, when you have a couple that's living on a fixed income, they own their home, and they've lived there for 40 and 50 years, they have a furnace that goes out. If they're living on a fixed income, their money is going for utilities, it's going for food, and it's going for medicine.
Yes. Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're in crisis if their furnace goes out because they don't have the income, they don't have the funds to make that repair.
Yeah.
So we need to look at the three basics that all of us need of housing, hunger, and health. That's just where human development occurs.
Yeah, that's why I'm a proponent for the three H's. When you first were at the installed by the governor, you talk about the three H's, and I'm really for that because hunger, as you know, it has different facets, and many people sometimes they just focus on food, but it's way, way beyond food.
Well, and as I listen to you talk about hunger, and people that will listen to us talk about this, they'll think, well, is hunger really an issue here in the United States? Is hunger really an issue in Indiana? Now, there's people that's working it every day that knows it's a big issue, but the majority of people don't realize the great need of food across the state of Indiana. That how many people that are going to food pantries each and every week. I know that at one of the local churches doing a food drive, one of the people said, well, look, when the statement was made, all of this food is being raised here in this community, and it will stay here in this community, the people were just said, wait a minute, did I hear this wrong? Is there really that need here in our community? A lot of times people think when they see these food drives by the schools or the YMCAs and different things that this food is going to some third world country. Yeah. No, the need is right here at home. We have schools that are full of a lot of hungry children. Yeah. We have churches that have people that may be sitting next to you that's in need of food. So it's a real issue, and we really need to talk about it more. And I think one of the important things that we need to talk about and address in society, we all address the food pantries and the hunger issue around Thanksgiving and around Christmas and the holidays.
Yeah.
But I know that you and I like to eat year round.
Yeah.
And so it's
Every day.
Yeah. So it's something that we really need to talk about and raise the awareness that the need is real.
Yes.
And we can solve the problem. And every one of us, we all have a role to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as simple as, buying a jar of peanut butter and jelly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very important, too, to engage our children and the youth. Our kids love peanut butter and jelly. We need to have them save up some money or do a food drive within their circle of influence, whether they're at a youth group or whatever they're involved in. We need to get the kids involved and let them have a full understanding that there are others around us that may not be so blessed as we are.
Yeah. On the upside of that, we want to end our conversation in more on a positive tone. Talk about peanut butter and jelly. So what is the encouragement? Where do you see our at least Indiana is going towards alleviating or reducing this hunger?
Well, I think the positive message in all of this is to say that, this isn't an issue that we can solve. This is something that we can make a difference. We have the resources, we have the technology, and people of Indiana have the heart. We have a lot of good people across the great state of Indiana that give each and every day. And this is something that we all have a role to play. It's just a matter of getting up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a difference. And it's something that I can tell you, when you're doing it, it's good for the heart. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. I know that every time that I'm involved in doing something to help somebody else, at the end of the day, I feel a lot better. So this is something that we can all get involved in. We can make it fun, and we can truly make a difference in our own community.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.